We are starting soon. The only one that needed unmuted stayed muted.
Hello and welcome back to another Album Book Club review. This week we are taking a look at 14 Steps to a Better You by Lime Cordial or Lime Cordiale. I've never been told how to say it. Somebody will probably correct me.
It's a kind of food. When I looked up the band, it said how to make in front of it. So
I'll say the food I feel like I've heard called cordial, but I've heard them be called cordiale before, so I don't know which one it is.
It also would make sense with Cordialba for it to be Cordiale. I don't know.
It does, yeah. I should have put that up here. Oh well.
you're gonna get me on the Reese's Pieces rant. The thing that tells you how you're supposed to say it.
They are Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, they're not Reese's Pieces. Yeah.
That's what you think. This is an album from 2020, that's what it was. It's their, I believe, second album. They're a two-piece band from Australia. They do have a backing band, though. We actually, 2 years ago, pretty much to the day, reviewed their first album, Permanent Vacation.
I forgot about that review's existence. Like a week ago.
Wait, was I there?
No, you were not on staff yet.
That's what I figured. I was like, I think I would have remembered that.
Were we even in person for that one?
Yes, it was the first in-person live, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying, that was how old it is.
Nice.
I'm trying to find my old notes on it now.
I went back and looked because I needed to fact check some album art notes.
So fun fact, I used to use one Google Doc that I would change the notes on every week.
Oh,
So
that's
I don't
what
have any notes
That's what I still do.
pre-season. I think the last season is when I started taking unified notes.
Short of like the half a legal pad, there's like 6 of these.
Yeah, and we actually did a review of one of their EPs like 2 weeks ago. We ready to get started with top threes?
Yeah.
All right, my top three was Money, Robbery, and Elephant in the Room.
I had Screw Loose, On Our Way, and That's Life.
I had Robbery, Money, and Following Fools.
I have We Just Get By, Can't Take All the Blame, and Addicted to the Sunshine.
All right, let's get to bottom song. I had Addicted to the Sunshine.
I had Money.
Oh, no.
I had Can't Take All the Blame.
I'm just going to say there's not a bad song on this album, but also it's Inappropriate Behavior is the one that's rated the lowest.
I say the honest answer was it was just my lowest rated song.
Yeah,
It wasn't like anything I had to go like, oh, this song was the worst. And I was just like, oh, well, you got the luck of the draw, buddy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I bet we all have real tight groupings. I bet that's why it was such a mess just then.
Speaking of.
Just a mess. Is that a reference?
It can be.
Yeah, it is.
Can be if you'd like. Easter eggs. You're on the album book club.
The music clipped for a second. I was trying to figure it out. All right, let's move on to track one. That's Life. I give this one an 8.
Give it a 7.5.
Gave it an 8.
8.5.
Ooh. Who wants it?
I'll take it. Oh, Carl, you want to take it? Oh, I can say exactly why this song probably got rated lower, and most of the album, out of me, I really did not like the tone of the bass. throughout the entire album. I don't know if it was too compressed or too much of something, but there was certainly like not enough highs and mids in the bass. It just was kind of like that punch with no sustain or real like solid sustain.
What did you listen on?
AirPods, and then I switched to my Beats, and then I tried the Shure. And I've also listened on vinyl. It's a problem I have with the bass on this whole album.
Weird. I have positive notes about the bass for this whole album. Sounded fine in the Sonys, I thought.
Oh, it's just not my type of, not my flavor of bass. I like
That's fair.
like real raw bass guitar.
Not gonna be the guy, but like with them being Australian, it's probably that Tame Impala thing creeping in.
That is where I fear it went to, and I didn't want to say.
Yeah, a lot of my mix notes specifically are things that I don't necessarily love, but I just kind of let slide because that's just kind of what music sounds like, apparently.
Other than that, it's very good. The harmonies are very, very good. There's a lot of very fun synth work on it. The problem I had, other than the bass tone throughout the whole album, with this song specifically, was just that it was a lot of one thing that could have maybe gone on 15 seconds less, but we're talking the semantics of 15 seconds here, so.
I have that note on a lot of various songs in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like this song does a really good job, like showcasing all the tones we're gonna hear throughout this album. Because I'll say like it's varied throughout, but a lot of it does sound very similar. I love the vibe that we get in this track, and that's the thing that I love about these guys. A lot of it is just vibe music. The vocals are outstanding, and I think the guitar here sounds great as well. And before we get on to the full review of this, I am biased towards this band because of Connor. It's your fault.
I accept blame. Yeah, there's a fight I guess we have to have with me and Logan towards the end of this about one song, but it's the highest because it was the first track from this band I ever heard.
Nice.
That's valid.
Yeah, I don't have any notes you guys didn't talk about. I did enjoy that it was actually mixed. We don't get that every week on here. The reverb and delay on the voice works on this track, but it is definitely a lot. I have a lot of that in the whole album. There's just a lot of effects at certain points, and it again, it's that style. So, I'm not going to talk about it every time, but a lot of times it is just a lot. And they managed to make it work, but if they were looking to be more commercially successful, that could be some of the issue.
And I do think for the most part with the album after this, it's a lot less effect heavy from what I remember.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I think most of the notes we've already hit. I like the keyboard bells that go out throughout this. I liked the bass tone. And I liked there's like a weird accent guitar towards the end. That's really out there and weird, but I like it. I don't really have. Carson said it best, vibe music.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, Robbery. I gave this one a 9.
I gave it a 7.
Connor, we're matching this week. 9.
Give it a 7.5.
This one is so fun. I love the energy going on in this track. Just kind of, there were like these explosive little moments, and I have so much fun listening to them. I think the guitar and beat like really help it along for me. I think the chorus is great, and the like brass instruments that we begin to hear in the background, they add a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of like synth, horns, bass, and none of them really take over at any point, which is what I liked. They had all this stuff behind everything, but none of it, until the end when it got like a solo part, none of it really took over in the mix. It was mostly vocal heavy for a lot of this album. The one thing that I did notice as a negative from this was that the mix favors the right side of the headphones, which I thought was weird. It's real noticeable in the very beginning, and it kind of goes away over time, but I thought for a second it was playing only in my right headphone.
I have my shit in mono, so I don't get that anymore.
Not gonna lie, I watched on my TV today, boys. Yeah, this one was gonna be an easy vibe.
I started listening to this through my Mustang Micro as an audio interface at first. and then I gave up on that because it was screwing things up. But yeah, as far as this song goes, bass tone still bad. Other than that, it just kind of made me realize that they use a lot of common melodies in the right way, which is never as the forefront, always as kind of the counter melody or the background focus, which is kind of what they're there for. Someone wrote that melody to be used as their hit and then your background part, and that's why they're there. Also, this song feels like it's out of 2012. Can't explain that, but just does. Feels like it should have come out then.
Nice. My first note is that I like the bass. I also like the breaks that they take. There's a couple little spots where they'll just cut off for a split second and give you a chance to breathe. Especially when stuff is so compressed and pulsing, it's really nice to like remember where your ears are sometimes. They do a really good job of letting your ears reset throughout this whole album. Other than that, it was a driving groove and just the vibe continued.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have No Plans to Make Plans. I gave this one a 6.5 out of 10.
I gave it a 7.25.
Give it an 8.5.
Maybe this one an 8.
Why the hate?
Is it the thick accent at the beginning?
I think it's... Oh, okay. Yeah, the chorus of this one is super catchy and memorable, but the verses are kind of just there, and that's really where this is. Like, I remember the chorus out of nowhere. It'll pop in my head, but I couldn't tell you a single thing that happens in that song without listening to it in this moment.
I can definitely see where you're coming from, because like the chorus does just stick out in this one. It's much better than the rest of the track, but it also kind of helps uplift the rest of the track for me. I thought it was really fun, even though we lost some of that drive we got in the previous track. I still think they do a really good job at pushing it along, and I actually really like the ending in this one. I know it's a little bit of a odder one, but I like it.
My note is that the kazoo break at the end is interesting.
Yeah.
But I think my biggest gripe with this song shouldn't even be taken into consideration, because I think it needs an Idris Elba verse, and it should have gone on that EP we listened to. I think that would have made it infinitely better if they did that.
That would.
Nice. My biggest note is just the catchy chorus. You guys nailed that. Is there a trombone in with the kazoo, or did I mistake the kazoo for a trombone? Because if so, I might actually need to get my ears checked.
I don't remember
It sounds like
There-
something they probably would have done.
I don't remember there being one mixed with the kazoo, but there was probably one in the background there.
There's definitely one after too, because we don't just get that kazoo break and the song ends. There's the kazoo break, then there's the band break, and then it ends.
Yeah, the trombone was a win. It was random, and I loved it.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. Fun piano part, cool kazoo. The whole band, it kind of made me like realize it was just like modern day Bowie-esque music, where it's just like weird out there stuff, but it's all vibes and weird instruments. We get to a song later that's got goofy stuff, but a kazoo was not expected.
It's a little early for kazoo.
Little early for kazoo, yeah. But I do think, yeah, you're right. It's just, this is a very memorable chorus with verses, but also that's kind of like most songs. A memorable verse is what makes a great song. A memorable chorus is what makes a good song.
Fair. I like that note.
All right. Next up, Inappropriate Behavior. I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 7.
Gave it an 8.
I gave it a 7. You want me to tell you why I gave it a 7?
Go for it.
There's some like gopher wahoos at the end. And it's not my favorite thing. I don't know. It just vibed otherwise.
This one feels a little bit close to some of the other tracks for me, but it was that strong central vibe that I held on to. There's some bits where I feel like the vocals are kind of highlighted well, but outside of that, it's this one kind of fades.
Yeah, I didn't have too many notes about this one. It's catchy. This one's still a vibe. I still like the bass tone here, but yeah, I know what's coming. But I have an issue. The end just kind of cuts off, and I thought that my phone just skipped the song halfway through, like what would be the ending. and I went back and listened, and it didn't.
Yeah. No more bass comments, I think, ironically enough, for the whole album. I think I wrote them on like the first 3 and then stopped. Other than that, there's just a lot of good movement to this song. Musically, they're very, very good at doing that. I don't think there's ever a time where I'm thinking like, ugh, that was like, why did you go there? It's always the next logical step, not necessarily always like the step everyone's expecting, but it is the next logical step for their music, and that's something worth writing about. And then yeah, there's a fun accent like bell, chime, or synth at the end. I like it.
All right. Addicted to Sunshine. I give this one a 6.5.
I gave it a 7.
Give it a 7.5.
I gave it an 8 3/4. I can go if you want again. Just the chord changes are super clever in this one. I like when you don't give me the things I expect after doing that for 4 tracks. There's some interesting stuff here, but it works. It's not like Radiohead where you just like it because you've heard it a million times. I don't know. The jam is really catchy too. I just enjoyed this track. I think it got a 8 3/4 on vibes alone.
Yeah, the vibe here is great. That was like my first note. I'm like, okay, the vibe of this song, stellar. But it's the same thing that's kind of happened with the last track. It's kind of starting to sound similar here, and this is actually one of the tracks that I don't like to listen to this one like actively. And I know that sounds weird, but I almost prefer that this track be on while I'm doing something else. This is one of the ones that I want to be on in the background because it's fun to have in the background, and it, fits a lot of tasks pretty well. But when you're sitting there and you're actually like trying to break it down, I feel like this one has things that just detract from it.
I think we have the same thing written down in different fonts.
For sure.
I have that this is by far the most, I'm not going to say forgettable track, but the one that I forget the most on this album. The vibes are still up, and it's definitely worth going on a playlist, but I think it kind of suffers from this format of listening to the album.
Yeah. Dang, I wrote and guessed that Carson was going to comment about the saxophone. Wrong there, I guess. It's been too long since he's been on the show. Other than that, there's a phaser gun sound at the end that was real cool that nobody mentions. It's like pew, 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 pew. And I was loving that.
Logan loves the phasers.
I do love the phasers. This song was it was upbeat and just a vibe. Other than that, yeah, our show is meant to eat this song to shreds, but I was having a good time, so it wasn't happening.
All right, we ready to move on? Next up, On Our Own, I give this one a 7.5.
I gave it a 7.5.
I gave it a 7.
I give this one an 8.5.
This is a way more synth-heavy song than everything we've gotten so far. What is it? Oh, this is the song on this album of all time. I think this is the most this band sounding song that is on this album, and maybe that they have. And it's kind of setting up a tone shift that we're about to have in the album, and I think it does that pretty good.
Yeah, I think it sets it up pretty well, but this song itself, it kind of, because they just sound like them, it sounds like a filler track. And that's kind of why I got a 7 for me. It feels like there's a whole lot less that's actually going on. Like, it doesn't feel as interesting as some of the other things we've gotten. And I really like the piano in this track. I think it does great, but there's nothing else that's super notable.
I mean, the only interesting thing I have, I liked the change-ups between the intros and breaks and stuff going on. It kept the momentum up even though it's really laid back. And I really like the synths in the background mixed with the vocals in this one. It really felt right.
Yeah. A lot of fun energy here. A lot of great synths, driving drums. A lot of it was fun. My biggest gripe, though, is they have a build-up. I don't quite remember how far it was into the song, but it wasn't all the way through. And the timing gets off for just like half a beat on like 3 different people, but not the drums. And they're like behind, and then they catch up real quick. So it has just like this jumble of like out of timedness. And that bugged me because I feel like it was on purpose. And I have no idea why anyone would do that. Other than that, great song.
to have fun. That's why they did it.
That's fair.
I don't know. I didn't notice it, so I guess I wasn't paying all that attention to it. But
Oh, I just got hyped for the build up, and then as you do, you thump your pen along with it, and then when the drums are still going at this, and nothing else is, it was weird.
All right. Next up, We Just Get By. I gave this one an 8.
I gave this a 7.
I gave this one an 8.
this one got a 9 from me.
Oh.
I'll get this out the way.
I'm not gonna lie, Logan. I'm pretty much there too. My notes for this track, not a whole lot. I mean, I love the chorus in this track, but outside of that, it is just a vibe.
It's like a reggae sad song, and that's like something to highlight. But other than that, I couldn't come up with a single note. I was like, I just like it.
It's hard to talk about, but it's great.
See, I have a crap ton of notes. That's why I'm laughing. I like that the intro starts kind of low. I love the halftime feel of the groove because it almost made me think of like Zeppelin or something. Just how fat that groove is. Real catchy melody all the way through. Just great chill vibes. And then the drummer finally showed off a little bit, which I think is the only time it happens on this album.
Yeah, I liked them pulling back the energy. I think we had enough in the pacing of everything of what we've had so far with the high energy. I had a complaint that I was in the middle of typing, and they stopped doing it the beat before I was going to get mad at it. There was like an ambient break that went on for exactly the amount that I will allow. I had like the first word of this ambient break is making me mad typed out, and I was like, they're fine. Okay. Synth solo is good at the end, but not as good as the one from earlier. I do also think this song, or the synth solo, goes on for too long, but other than that, good song. Oh yeah, I'm up next. Next up, we have Money. I gave this one a 10 out of 10.
Give this 6.5.
I have a 9 written, but I agree. It's a 10 out of 10.
That's wild. I have a 7.5.
Nah, this one's amazing. That chorus gets stuck in my head all the time. I've loved this one for a really long time, so I'm definitely biased towards it.
So this is definitely biased, the review right now. Do it more. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. I just love the energy and the vibe for the entire track. I think the horns in the backing and the entirety of the backing track is so great, and it's so cool. That's pretty much all I have. Yeah, I just love this thing for a while.
Nice. My most positive note is that it's not Pink Floyd, and then it's basically like a thumbs up plus and a half kind of thing for me.
I mean, Carson kind of said it. This is, and I said it earlier, this is the track where I found this band from, so it was always going to have a higher score. I've been listening to this one for the longest, so the energy's up. I still like the bass tone. If you have any notes written down about that, it's fine. Vocal cadence goes hard. They bring in the horns in later, which is cool because you got to hear the chorus without it, and then they brought it in. I like it more with it, but they didn't overdo it. This is just still one of my favorite songs from them.
Yeah, I think this one kicked with a very fun riff. It was just cool. The actual cadence and chorus of the song are very catchy, very memorable, very fun. The thing that really took it from a 7.5 down to a 6.5 is there's some like super high pitched synths at the end that like build, and I was not having it. It was like they went from this pitch to this pitch. I was like, okay, you're pushing your luck. And then they went from here to here. I was like, all right, that's too far. It went down a whole point.
Anything else? No. Next up, Screw Loose. I gave this one an 8.
Gave it an 8.5.
I also gave it an 8.5.
I gave it an 8.5.
Thought he was gonna say 4.
No.
Connor's the hater this round.
Somehow.
No, this one's intro is so sick. I'm typically not into the whole like weird noises and intros, but the disc scratching gets my brain going. The vocals also sound super sick in this one. I don't know exactly what they're doing different, but I think they sound better. And then you're always going to get like a bonus half point when you build up the backing track over time like that with me. It just sounds cool.
Yeah, I just like all the weird sounds, synths, and everything on this one. It's a super catchy song, and they use a bunch of weird instruments. That's all I need.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think you can completely get rid of the vocals, and I will give this song a 10. I think they are the hindrance to this track.
If the chorus was just a little bit better, man.
Yeah, the chorus is fine. The rap verses or whatever you want to call them, they're okay. But then there's like an automaton or something, and I'm here for it. Or a stylophone, one of the two.
That's awesome. I think the only thing you guys didn't mention, this was Return of the Trombone Man. I love trombone randomly when it appears. I don't know why. I don't think that's the instrument that I would say that I generally love when it randomly appears, but it was the thing on this album for me that every time I did it, I was like, oh, that's cool.
We got a band for you to check out.
Yeah. This one also had a really sweet bridge that had, I don't know if it was key changes or chordal changes or if it was implied key changes or what, but the bridge, it takes you on a journey, and at the end it just perfectly sets you down back right in the middle of the song, and that's so hard to do. It's just really impressive writing as far as whatever changes they were doing there.
New video idea. Trombones in unexpected places.
The Carson look was priceless.
Next up, Elephant in the Room. I give this one an 8.5.
Give this a 7.
Give it a 7.5.
This one got an 8 from me. I filled out the spread.
We needed it.
This is a bit of another forgot to take notes song for me, so you'll get one of these.
It's a lot more stripped back than everything else we've gotten, and I think they pull it off well. Its placement is, I think, a little weird. Probably could have been, I guess, better, but I think it's fine. Mostly because of what's about to happen. We kind of switch up a couple more times, and there's only 4 songs left.
Yeah. This song moves very, very well. Chorus is very lovely. I guess my gripe with it was that it was another very common piano melody. I can't remember if this was the one that I could actually sing lyrics to another song over, but it was for just one bit of a section, so I was fine with it. It was just because of how stripped back the song was, more at the forefront instead of the background.
Sorry guys, I made a noise. I forgot to turn on the live during the live. Yeah, this one was 6/8. I really like the honky tonk piano thing they used. I'm assuming it's MIDI. If it's not, cool that you found one that was the perfect amount of broken. Just a good vibe with building energy all the way through, though.
All right. Next up, Dirt Cheap. I gave it a 6.75.
Give it a 6.75.
Gave it a 7.
I give this one an 8.
This one has a completely different mix on the vocals from everything else on this album. I think the mids are cranked on this one, but at the end of the day, it's a thumbs up.
I'm so close to that. I think I had a fun time with the guitar in this track, and I like kind of all the sliding that was going on through the track, but other than that, it's just solid. It's a solid Lime Cordial track, but there's not too much to say about it.
I think my score is mostly because of how it's placed. This is it's like the breather break before all of the big stuff happens in the ending. I don't know how to explain it in a movie. It's like the little comedic section before all the drama really unfolds. I think that's what did it. I think it was just timed perfectly. I really liked that there was a break after all the other songs with just a little heavier energy. It was just light and fun, and helped keep things moving for me.
I do not remember what the intro to this was, but my notes just say, "What the hell is this intro, dog?" And then immediately after that, the song is very fun. And then during, I guess, kind of the refrain section, technically, the guitar player keeps messing with his whammy bar, but in all the right ways. He's just with the vocal track. It's very fun and funny. Other than that, it moves very well. To comment on again, the band is very good at actually moving their songs and kind of not making you feel stuck in one place. There's a few songs where you get a little stuck, but it's few and far between and not for long.
Anything else? Cool. Next up, Can't Take All the Blame. I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 7.
Gave it an 8.
So we got an 8.75 for me.
I really like the beep boop synth that they
That's
got.
the first thing that I said. I'm like, I love the beeps and boops.
It also does a good job of like switching to wind down mode. We're gonna get into how they mess that up towards the end, but I also love the like vocal lines during the chorus. Super catchy.
Yeah, slower tracks aren't my favorite, but this one is a vibe up until the very end, of course. Well, it's still a vibe there, but it gets
I
a
don't
little
remember
bit.
what happens.
It just gets a little less slow. And the other note that I had about this song are the vocals. So you hit like everything that I hit on the note.
Sorry, I lost track of where I was in the whole time-space continuum. It was real bad.
Me too, bro.
Yeah. No, I wrote "Beat Go So Hard," so apparently I really liked the groove on this one.
You writing like I do.
Yeah. The there's a Mellotron, which I'm sure is a sample. I hope to God it's a sample. If you used a real Mellotron, kudos. There's just so many textures stacked so well. I mean, it feels like a billion-layer cake, and I know how hard that is to do and make everything intelligible and listenable. That's just super impressive. I could take or leave the ending. That's the only thing I had. But
Yeah. Solid intro. This was a song with like another common progression. Other than that, it was a very fun track. And my biggest thing of note was there's a synth kind of running counter melody during the chorus, and I'm a sucker for a good counter melody. So, yeah,
All right. Next up, Dear London. I gave it 7.5.
gave it a 7.
Gave it an 8.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
I will start off by saying I think this should be the ending to this album.
I don't.
I don't either.
I think it would have been sad.
I think it would have been an injustice.
I just love the ending of this album.
I mean, so I'll tell you my biggest problem with this song is that it doesn't have any real drums. It has some rim clicking, and if you end an album without drums for me and it's not acoustic, I'm kind of sad.
But there's rain.
I was going to say the rain. I thought the rain was such an interesting
Atmospheric.
choice for a really long time, but it grew on me as I listened to the album a little bit more. And I've always liked how they've kind of built this track around the water noises, but also they aren't afraid to like push them all the way to the back. There are like bits and pieces of the song where they basically turn the volume level down to 1%. Unless you're really looking for those noises, you can't find them in your headphones. Other than that, it's just great vibe.
I'll say this is like way more of a lo-fi track than we've gotten on anything else. And the rest of my note is I could list so many cool things that happen in this song, but this review is going to turn into, at this timestamp, this happens. And I don't want to do that. There's a lot of cool things going on in this song.
Yeah, other than the needing more drums, I like the build. The trombone appears again. I literally wrote it 4 times in this review.
This dude loves trombones.
I don't know what it was about me and trombone today. It's
We
not
need to show
usually
this guy big man, little trombone.
I mean, I usually don't like love trombone centric things. I don't know. It was weird.
I'm glad that you know what that video that is.
This one just, I think it felt refreshing because of where it is, but I don't know. I just needed drums, I guess. That's the mad thing. That's the thing I was mad about. Don't take my drums away, and don't touch them either.
I'm gonna put my ball sack on your drums.
Yeah. I hated the vocals on this song. There's some sort of filter that just completely was ruining them. It ruined it. Other than that, the rain was great. I didn't really care for too much of what was going on because I was just kind of relaxing, you know. It was like the sounds you hear when you're meditating. You just kind of let them fall to the wayside, but accept they're there, recognize them, and don't care. So that's what happened.
Acceptance is the first stage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last track, Following Fools. I gave it a 6.5.
Gave it a 7.25.
9.
This one got an 8.
Dude, I love this track. I'm so into this ending. I like how it kind of ties things back together. It kind of ties things in this nice little bow. I think the chorus is good. I think the guitar sounds great, and I really like the beat. So, all in all, I just really like this track.
Nice. I really like the slide guitar. It just kind of does a thing on this track, and it's not like Breaking Bad or SpongeBob egregious. It's just like there and vibes, more like, I don't know, like Takanaka and some of his stuff. And when slide guitar is done right, it's great. When it's not, it's done awful, and it was done right here. I liked the doubling in the vocals. You know, it really helped to fill it up without using a ton of delay and reverb, which was cool. And to me, this just felt like an ending. So I know you're about to argue that, but
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, you said a lot of what I had. I like the vocals. I like the slide guitar. I did not care for the synth. It is like on the line of multiple complaints that I've had throughout the time this show has existed. And it's like right there beyond, it's on the side that I'm okay with, but it is right on the line of this synth sounds super corporate. The slide guitar did save it though, because it kind of took over after the intro. But as an ending, this track sounds like a single that would be released before this album. Not the ending to, I don't think there's a concept here, but if there is, then maybe it's fine as an outro or as an ending. But to me, this just seems like a single that got slapped at the end.
I feel like this is an ending, just not to an album. This is the ending to Prom. You know, like, it's a good, chill, mellow, everybody's drunk going home song. You know, or like the last in a set list. It's the
People
ending
get drunk
track.
at prom?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's... I think if you were to play this as like a set list, this is the perfect ending. For an album, when you're listening, you know, I always like to kind of go down then up a little bit for in the last song. This one kind of goes up then mellow. And so that's why I think it's a bad album outro, but I think any other instance of playing music, it would work better.
I don't have anything. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Moving on. Pacing score, I gave it an 8.
Gave it a 6.75.
Gave it an 8.
I give this one a 9.
Besides my one little note there at the end, I don't think I had a problem with pacing. There's a couple of almost filler feeling songs and a couple of ones that I kind of forget, but I think I've listened to this separated onto playlists for long enough that it doesn't bother me.
That's pretty much exactly where I'm at with it too. I think it's a great listen. It doesn't. Sure, there were parts of it that feel just a tiny bit longer than others, but that's only because like it can get a little bit repetitive, and like part of this album feels like you're supposed to have it in a playlist or have it on in the background. So, victim of format, I guess.
Oh, I did also, well, real quick, I saw somewhere today that 8 of the tracks were singles released before the album,
Whoa.
which is egregious.
That is a lot.
Yeah, I don't like that. I just have that it's almost perfect. It's just the album as a whole is a little too laid back. I feel like there could have been a little more of a pick me up at a couple spots. I love the vibe of everything. I just don't know. I needed something faster with more drums somewhere for me to be really happy. But it's not a concept album, so it can't get a 10. Those are kind of the rules around here. But I was really happy with how it listened, how it felt from top to bottom. Went by quicker than I thought it would, but it just was a chill vibe.
Have we ever given pacing a 10 not on D-Loused or Somewhere City?
I think like not
I
as
say,
a
I don't-
universal, but as like split ones.
I'm
I
just
think
saying, has
I've given
anybody-
one.
I can't
I think I've given one of the other concept albums a
Did you
10.
give one-
I
did you-
think a couple.
Did you give one a Dope Lemon?
Probably.
Seems like that's an option, but I can't think of any off the top of my head that we've done.
I think it almost has to be a concept album to get a 10 pacing, and it like feel like a coherent thing. I mean, that's just kind of the. I don't know why. Most people don't make albums to be albums anymore. That's really the problem.
Make them throw them on playlists.
And
Yeah, I'll be honest. This was like a miserable analyze for me. I was busy as hell today, and this was not the vibe for busy. This is the vibe for chilling on your couch and just kicking back. But I ultimately think if that's what you're doing, you're going to kind of wean in and out of paying attention, which is probably what this is paced out for, which is like when you can kind of let your brain itself ease up. There are songs that have that repetitive nature to just kind of let you zone out for a second, and then they kick you back in by cranking up the tempo during the intro and they mellow back out. So I think if I were able to probably truly listen to it that way, it is probably paced at 10 for what they're going for. It's just, what standard do you rate album pacing at?
All right. Moving on to album art. I gave this one an 8.5.
Gave it a 9.
9.
9.
I can explain my 8.5 real easy. I went back and checked what I gave this one, and I think this is objectively a better album art. So I went 0.5 below it.
I adore the style that they do their album arts in. I think the 14 Steps to Better You. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's a problem when I've been listening for this so long that I can't even differentiate between the two albums anymore. But it's awesome. I love the style. That's really all it is. I think it's perfect.
I would have subtracted if it was 14 steps and there were not 14 tracks, but I did not have to subtract for that. I was pleasantly surprised when I realized. Yeah, just the art style is really fun. You know, you can definitely tell it's just vibe, you know, and it was a vibe, and it said what it was. There's color. Color's good. Pretty much that's it. That's all album art.
Yeah, good art. I enjoy it very much. I have the album. I enjoy staring at it. It will one day go on the wall for a while. It's one of those one that just looks like a regular painting, kind of.
Oh, I had an idea. So I know somebody makes them, but I thought of record holders that you could slide out the side that had like a pull drawer, and there just would be like a little handle, and you could just pull it out the side and then put it back in whenever you wanted to listen to it. Because that really is the problem with hanging albums. You can't hang anything you really like, because then you have to take it down to get it out.
There's a company that makes them. It's like just a fabric sheet, and then you put the corners in. But they're like $80 to put up 6 or something. And I get emails from them like every week, and I'm not gonna buy it.
I know people that have like the rows of shelves with the grooves in them, but that makes me nervous because I know who I am. I know I'll take one record off and I'll knock 3 off, and then I've now ruined 3 of my favorite albums trying to listen to one of them. So I don't know. It's a thought. Maybe we should design something.
If we just build a wall and cut a giant hole in it that slides in and out the record, like the full holder, so you just sort through it and tuck it back in the wall. We'll put it on like the same system that the keyboard trays are on, you know, like a morgue, like a morgue table. Maybe that's what we need to buy. We need to buy an abandoned morgue.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I want you to know where my brain's at. When you first said that, I assumed like there'd be cutouts in this wall, and then Connor would have to go into this room right here, pull out the wall, and change what was in it.
The records slide out like Connect 4. They just roll down.
I say realistically, you just need to cut a hole in the wall for your like a filing cabinet, and then just open the filing cabinet.
To be real, the answer is to buy a jukebox and then just leave only the covers in the frames. I know what the real answer is, but also, jukeboxes, like, they don't exist anymore.
You can find them.
I don't know. I need a 400 vinyl changer for my living room. There's a real problem.
See, my record player can put like 3 on at once and up to 9 singles.
Yeah, that stack drop thing's wild.
It's terrifying. Convinced he's gonna break a record.
Carson's on Marketplace buying a jukebox right now.
You can get a jukebox for $150.
I said jukeboxes aren't bad unless they're missing like the 45 adapters or they have the weird off-size jukebox records.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There's a certain era where they're like just barely different than the 45s.
I mean, to be fair, if it's tube, I can fix it. If it's transistor, I can fix it. They never made them if it's something I couldn't fix. Those are called touch tunes.
Those are just TVs with touchscreen.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I can do woodworking.
This working 1955 jukebox is only $3,800.
Only.
It's only.
Yeah, the problem is any of them that have like plastic on them, the
It's-
plastic is gone. You have to get like a wood one with glass and stuff. Oh, that is sick.
This one has the like interior plastic.
Oh, it's a
there still.
Seaberg. Nice.
Yeah.
It's got the interior crocodile alligator.
That's what I was thinking.
I drive a Chevrolet movie theater.
When are we gonna do Chip the Ripper here on Album Book Club?
Your baby daddy's worst nightmare.
I think first we should probably do music overall,
Yeah.
though.
Oh, okay.
But jukeboxes. A non-working jukebox, like $2,200.
Yeah.
That's a
The other thing is they're large and heavy. That's the real problem. My house was designed by someone who had no idea what houses do, and the living room's on the second floor. So
I'm already trying to figure out how to get an organ into this place. So
Very carefully.
more where to put it, but
I think organs go inside your body.
I was gonna say, have you messaged the guy yet to ask if he'll get to me for free? Because then he'd be an organ donor.
it is for free.
Nice.
That's what the listing says. So we do have an organ donor. I just don't have anywhere to put it.
We just take it apart and put it back together.
Piece by piece, yeah. All like 6,000 pieces.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that. You can have fun with that.
The worst puzzle ever.
It's all fun and games until we install it into the walls in the house.
I'd be okay with that, but I don't have the time to do that.
You walk into the studio one day, there's just an organ.
I say the time or the desire to do that. Anyway, I give this album overall an 8 out of 10.
I gave it an 8.
Gave it a 9.
I also gave this one a 9. Good job, buddy.
I think it deserves the 9. Carl and I are still agreeing. It's still weird. But no, I've had such a great time with this album for so long. I've been listening to it for years at this point, and it's never really lost its charm for me. I've always really liked the songs. I think they withstand like the test of time. I think I'm still gonna like them in another year from now. I think they do a great job at making this vibe and keeping it interesting throughout the whole track or throughout like the whole length of the album. I think they give your ears a lot of good breaks. I think they keep the variance up, and it really doesn't. I don't think there's a part of this that would really get stale.
Yeah, I closed the book. What are my notes? Oh my lord. I'm sorry, my brain is just not functioning today. It's been on the whole just failing to do anything.
You actually take notes for album overall?
I take at least like I take dots. I don't take.
Oh,
I mean, I
okay.
don't write the paragraphs, so it's like a monologue. No, but you know, in general, I have a lot of things I could complain about with just being over affected. But I gave that to it as a stylistic choice today because I didn't hate it. If it's done poorly, I hate it. But it's done well on this album. The vibes are great. It was a great listen. It was fun. That to me is a 9. I liked it. I don't know. I don't like a lot of things, so I don't know how to say good things about things. Apparently,
Yeah, I hate to do it, but Carson said pretty much exactly what I would have said, minus the fact that I had to lower my score below what I gave Permanent Vacation, because I think as an album that one works better. There are definitely standout tracks on both that are on all kinds of playlists that I have, but both are great albums. Check back in another 2 years, we'll do the newest one.
Yeah. I mean, I had like one score go above an 8, but this album overall as a piece is very good. Some of the individual tracks, I think, when you actually analyze them, they're just not built to be analyzed that way. And then others are. It's just the draw of it. But after like analyzing it, I can go back and listen to this album and have a good time with it, have a fun time. Recommend it to anybody. I think it's a very good solid album, yeah.
All right, ready for next week's album?
Yep.
This This is a suggestion that happened like 4 hours ago. Next week, we will be listening to You're Making Me Feel Like This by Terrell Fields. It's a hip-hop album I know nothing about because I learned of its existence 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
Should be pretty fun. Guys, got anything else?
Yeah. Don't forget to head over to our Fourth Club wall.
Fourth Club?
Or Fourth Wall store and check out our album book club merch. You can pick up our varsity merch, our album mug club mugs.
I would lift the mug,
This
but it's
way.
holding my phone up.
Yeah. As well as our hats and all other previous seasons merch. I'll shout out our Porn Stash is Back hoodies this time. I own that one too. Anybody else?
Yeah, we just got to do our little YouTuber thing. We should probably do it more at the beginning if we just remembered. But yeah, if you've made it this far, please like, subscribe, anything. We really appreciate it. We're really close here. I don't know. Maybe I'll actually like something if we manage to get to a point where we deserve to be. I feel like at this point, but we'll keep fighting. We'll keep doing it, and anything you can do will definitely help us do that.
Also, you're going to hear about it before this video drops, but we are doing another song review. So if you have songs you want us to listen to, drop them in the comments. We need them desperately.
Woo!
Bye.
Yep, that's it. See you next week.
See ya.